Load here, actually. Are we live?
I think so, but let's wait a few minutes just in case there's some technical difficulties here.
Hello. Maybe you should check that.
It is live.
Oh,
Yeah. It is live. Hello, everyone. Can you see us and can you hear us? Sorry, we don't do this often, so we usually struggle with some technical side of things. Okay, we're live.
We're live. Hello, and thank you so much for joining us on this evening or morning, afternoon, wherever you are. Even though we are doing a little recap, summary of our trip in China, we are physically actually already back in
Thailand,
in our favorite place in the world, in Gossamui. But yeah, we wanted to jump on here and do a live because we had a great time during this 1 month in China trip, and I think a lot of people have left us such nice comments about being surprised with what they saw in our videos, and they also want to go to China, but they have a lot of questions. So the easiest way for us is to do a live and answer your questions and share our experiences about traveling in China.
But are you a bit sad though?
Am I sad? Not right now.
That our China series is ending.
Oh, I did feel sad when we were, what was it, yesterday's video? When we uploaded that and we shared the last part of our China series, we were like, oh, that was kind of heavy because we were like, there's so much we want to see and we want to go back. But it was kind of a crazy month for us because we started from Shanghai, took the train kind of all across the bottom to Hangzhou, to Guilin, to Yangshuo,
to Dali,
and then over to Yunnan,
and all the way to Shangri-La,
Yeah.
which we didn't really capture the time we spent there because most of the time we were sick because of the altitude sickness. If you saw the last video, you would see how terrible of a shape Flora was in. And
we literally were staying inside the ancient town in Shangri-La, and we could see, you know, the big wheel in the middle of the center, but I couldn't get out of the hotel. It was hard enough just to walk down the stairs to eat breakfast, which I couldn't even really eat breakfast. So yeah, we couldn't see anything, and we'll definitely try to go back next time more prepared, maybe not as tired physically, so I can adapt to the altitude better.
And I'm a bit sad too because China series is probably my top 2 series to film and to edit, to put together. It's so much fun. Everything was so new, everything was so grand and so excited. Yeah.
What is your top 1 then?
My top 2 are Nepal and now China.
Yeah.
You know, when you have
really,
this
really
like very accomplished feelings after we finish a series, we feel like we have covered so much and we have learned so much from the trip that we want to share with everyone. And
it's one of those, both countries for us was we didn't know what to expect going in, and there was a bit of fear going in as well because we were worried about language, we were worried about maybe food, we were worried about getting around from place to place and how difficult it would be. Both of these countries we had these kind of worries. So when we were able to maneuver our way around the country so smoothly and with the help of local people, I think that's kind of what made these 2 places very memorable for us to film.
yeah.
Okay. So yeah, we see all the comments coming in, everyone coming from, let's see, different places. We have Indonesia, we have Thailand, India, Cambodia.
We have China.
Yes,
I
we
think
also
so.
have Jiangxi, China.
Wow.
Samui, someone else is in Samui. Malaysia, lots. France, awesome. Australia. It says Flora is feeling better. Yes, I'm feeling much better.
It took you almost a month to
Yeah.
recover.
I think after the altitude sickness, I also got acute bronchitis.
Yeah.
So that kind of took me a couple weeks to heal. But right now I'm good. But in the next video, I think I still kind of sick. Hong Kong, Japan, China, Belgium,
Wow, that's awesome.
Hangzhou, Taiwan, Louisiana, awesome. Singapore.
Welcome everyone.
Welcome. So I guess today we kind of have a list of topics we want to cover about our experiences in China, and at the same time we'll answer some of the questions you have about traveling in China. And then if you have other questions about any other things, we'll try our best to get to them as well. Yeah. Okay. So
We made a list of all the things we learned and all the things that we wish we have done.
Because we kind of started this list when we were traveling in China. Because we were starting to notice things like, I didn't know about this. This might be interesting to share. And then we started this list on my phone. So yeah, I guess the first thing is a lot of people ask like what type of visa they go in to China. We actually didn't do any of the transit visas. As you know, we did 1 month in China, so it was not an option for us to kind of go in on like a shorter visa. The most popular right now is like a transit visa, which was 144 hours. It's open to many countries, but you are limited in what cities you can go to. So you can look it up and see if that's an option for you if you want to kind of transit through China. But also there are some countries that are now, for example,
Visa-free.
Thailand is visa-free starting in March this year.
Yeah, last month, just recently. So that's why we took this opportunity to go to China and spend a month there, because as a Thai passport holder, you get 1 month free.
Yeah, free visa. There's also a couple other countries that have either 30 days or 15 days. European countries, some European countries. So you should look into that and see how many days you have. And if you wanted more days, then you kind of have to do what I did, which is I applied for a tourist visa with my Canadian passport, but I can apply for up to a 10-year visa. They granted me 3 years. So that was...
Because that's when your passport expired.
Yeah, that's what.
You could have gotten the 10 years visa. And
Possibly.
And it was pretty easy. We did it all in Chiang Mai, actually in Thailand, and we hire an agency. I think we paid less than $100 and fill out
the form.
It's nothing serious. It's like 30 questionnaires.
It's
but
more
it's like
that
personal information and
countries you've been to before, like that takes us a while to put together. But yeah, you can apply for a tourist visa as well if you wanted, or a multiple entry visa. So now that I have a longer visa, we have a higher chance of going back in for another 30 days next time to explore another part of China.
It's interesting that, because prior to our trip to China, I'm not sure if you feel the same, but I feel a bit intimidated of traveling to China. You know, thinking about whether is it safe, or is the country ready for tourists, or you know, will we run into problems filming and, you know, documenting our travels. But based on our experience, it was so easy. People were so friendly, and yeah, no problem at all.
I think when we were there, the feeling was that China was starting to really welcome tourism and trying to figure out what would make it easier for people. Because a lot of times right now, people would join tours, like group tours, to go explore different places. And one, it's much easier, and they handle all of the transportation, which is the huge part of it, and also the admission tickets and maybe hotels, so all of it's sorted. But of course, the experience is not as authentic as
It's limited.
if you go by yourself to explore, which I don't think is completely not doable, even if you don't speak Chinese. I think sticking to the bigger cities like Shanghai,
Beijing,
Beijing,
Hangzhou,
was still good too. Yeah,
Dali is good too.
Delhi was quite good as
Yeah.
well. You can definitely get by with like translation apps and local people helping you as well. When we went to these smaller towns, then I can see why that is a bit more difficult. But once you get to a big city, then if you wanted to do a day trip or a multi-day trip around that area, then maybe you can do a tour. But I wouldn't do like the whole China trip as a tour because you really need your own space and your own time
To actually see this beautiful country.
yeah, yeah,
And you don't have to be on someone else's schedule.
yeah.
Because a lot of time when we travel to different cities in China, we love it so much. We were like, we want to stay extra 2 nights or 3 nights. So if you do that by yourself without joining a tour, you have that option.
Let's see. What else did I want to mention? Oh, things to do before your trip to China.
This is very important.
Yeah. So before we flew into Shanghai, we made sure we had, WeChat downloaded, Alipay downloaded, and we also have Apple Pay. But these are like the 3 main payment methods, the 3 main apps you're going to have to use. So
Because I would say almost 90%
90%
of the people in China are now only using their phones to pay.
yeah,
They scan the QR code, it's done, that's it.
that is like the first, basically that is the main payment choice is by scanning the QR code and paying. But we have paid cash as well, and people are very happy to take it. You just cannot guarantee that they have change for you because not everyone is carrying change. But most of the places we went to where we
Usually bigger hotels, we use cash.
yeah,
'Cause
some
they
of
are more
them,
prepared.
Some of them, but it was also because we kind of exchanged too much cash, so we had to use it. But we realized we exchanged too much. You don't actually need that much. It's just good to have it as a backup in case all 3 payment methods fail, and it could happen because there was a situation where if a person using like a big bank as their major I don't know, like connection to the app, we had trouble paying them with all the methods. So then that only happened maybe 3 or 4 times for me. But usually if WeChat doesn't work, then Alipay will work.
And all of that you can set before your trip to China. Once again, upload a few passport photos, answering a few questions.
Yeah, you download the app and you can link your foreign credit card onto it, but make sure to do the identification verification.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's when you have to upload your passport photo or something, because that is what basically completes the registration. If you just link your bank, you're still missing a piece and it might not work.
And let's move on to the next thing that you need when traveling China, especially for foreigners, because you want to have access to Facebook, access to Instagram, YouTube. For us,
Yeah.
we needed to have access to a Gmail, YouTube, sometimes Google Map, but Google Map doesn't really do anything in China because
Yeah. We'll talk about maps.
you cannot look for recommendations on there because no one uploaded anything on there. They have their own map app that they use. But before we arrive, we make sure that we have VPN ready.
Yeah,
And we use 2 companies. We use Surfshark VPN, and then we use VPN AC, like Apple and Cat AC.
Apple and Cat. Yes, Apple and Cat.
And
it was interesting because using different phones, we both had them installed on our phone, and we kind of preferred one over the other. Like I use VPN AC because I thought my speed was faster most of the time, but then you use
A lot of Surfshark.
yeah. So we don't know exactly how or why, but it was good to have two options. Like Surfshark, we're on like a 2-year package, so we have it anyways. But VPN AC, we just bought 1 month, which was
And it's cheap. It's like $15 or something.
I think
like
even
that.
less. I
Even-
think it was
yeah.
less than like $10 US or something like that for a month. You don't have to sign a long contract, so it was good to have that option as a backup in case one didn't work and you really need to get to your Gmail.
We don't really know the technical side of VPN, how it works, because sometimes one VPN works on a phone but doesn't work on a laptop. And sometimes both of them work, but then if you choose certain countries, it doesn't work. So, especially on VPN AC, you have to make sure that you select you are in China, and it will
Yeah.
give you a list of different countries.
That you have a stronger
Connection,
connection.
Yeah. It was kind of pain in the butt, but it worked. It worked.
Yeah, it became just a habit. It just became a habit to like just connect onto it, to use it. But yeah, it's good to have for sure. Let's see. Oh, this is a fun question. I'm going to answer one from here. How many languages you both speak?
I speak 2 languages, English and Thai.
I speak English, Cantonese. I feel more confident to say that I speak Mandarin now because I realize I can get by in China. I used to feel like, no, I wouldn't say I'm conversational, but I feel like I'm getting there. Yeah.
We didn't have any trouble
No.
in China.
It was just that one lady who was selling something and she had a very strong like accent, like a dialect. And I had no idea what she was selling. It was like just one time. Yeah, and I speak a little bit of French. I speak a little bit of Thai now. But
Flora is really good. 5, 6 languages, I think, yeah.
But combined, it is really helpful for our travels. We, like in Laos, for example, your Thai and your Isan.
Combined is kind of like Laos.
Yeah, so it came
language.
in handy. And in Malaysia, we both were able to use Cantonese, Mandarin, Thai, English. It was pretty neat. Oh, it says here lots of people said that Malaysia is visa free now
To China?
for 30 days, just like Thailand.
Oh, okay.
So that's a good one.
This
to
is
know.
this is a good sign because China is now promoting.
They're open for tourism.
Yeah, open for
sure,
tourism.
yeah.
They're doing a lot of things to try to promote tourists to go to China, and it's a very beautiful country, and we spent a month there, and we only cover just a fraction of the place. There's still northern China that we haven't been to.
Oh, so many parts. So many parts. Like we haven't been, honestly, we skipped a lot of the major cities because I really just wanted to spend half of our time in Yunnan. So someone asked, why didn't we go to Beijing? Is because I really wanted to make my way west.
It's also give us a reason to return to China. Like today, someone mentioned that there's a train from Beijing, from China, somewhere
From Beijing to
to Russia
through
that you
Mongolia.
cross. That's insane. That sounds fun.
Yeah.
And we have never been to Russia. I don't know if it's a good time to go, but it's for the future.
But yeah, I think Beijing is, for next time. We didn't go to like Chongqing a lot. Xi'an, we wanted to go to that place too, but we definitely have a lot more to see. We were kind of targeting our trip this time to a specific area because we know that there's a lot to see in one area already in China. So we wanted to slowly appreciate it and not rush ourselves too much.
We'll go back soon. We'll
Here's
go
it.
back soon.
Allen, did anyone ever tell you look like the Cantonese pop star Charlene Choi?
Me?
Me.
Charlene?
No twins?
Oh, yes. Yes.
Yeah. I
We
actually
get that a lot.
I get that since I was in grade 8 or 9, but she's much cuter.
I also found out that I look like a Chinese superstar.
Oh yeah, people kept telling us, Zhu
Zhu
Yawen.
Yawen.
Yeah, you look like and he's like around your age as well. And that's why they nicknamed us on the Chinese video platform as the Yawen couple, which basically is that superstar's name plus couple.
Okay, what's else on the important list that people need to know before traveling to China?
Oh, getting a local number.
Oh,
So
okay.
right now, because you can get eSIMs, you can. We were on a roaming plan to China. We
We already
didn't-
use eSIM,
Yeah.
but then it's nice to have. Now that we know, it's nice to also have a local SIM card.
We realized there is difficulty when we want to, for example, use some of the functions inside the apps. Like we wanted to use the bicycle rental in the city, the e-bikes, and also like things like ordering food at KFC, for example. They need a local phone number where you can verify the code so they know, for sure you're the
It's
one
you.
ordering. We didn't have a local number for this trip. We actually used a roaming plan from Thailand, and that was kind of a mistake because having a local number definitely helps a lot. And I also feel that you would have a very strong internet connection as well using one of the local companies. So this is something we would definitely recommend and get for ourselves. Next time.
And I heard it's not difficult to get. Once again, you need your
Yeah, and it's
passport.
not expensive. Yeah.
Oh, talking about passport, you should carry your passport everywhere with you when you travel in China, because getting into attractions or getting into some temples, they will ask to see your identification.
It's just because I think they register you and when you buy the ticket. So when we went to like Wangshan Valley, they needed our passport in order to sell us the tickets. But yeah, we were lucky we brought them with us. And also when you book trains in China, the train ticket is linked with your passport number. That's why when you go into a train station, you need to go line up and manually scan your passport to even get in the station to make sure you're actually taking a train today. So when we booked all our trains, we submitted our passport numbers in there, and yeah, you just kind of need it for many things. And for booking trains and hotels, we really stuck with trip.com because you have the most options. It's very clearly stated, like these guest houses are open to everyone, foreigners, locals, the prices, the reviews. It's a really good platform for booking hotels, and a lot of guest houses are on there as well. If you went on booking.com, you probably wouldn't find them.
Get those options.
Yeah.
I think that's because of trip.com is
It's like,
Chinese owned.
It's Singaporean company, but I think they have like a mother company, which is a Chinese company. So they basically just translated all of that, I think, into English, to an English platform. Because there is an equivalent app called C-Trip, which is where I initially saw all the hotels and train bookings and all of that. And my friend in Shanghai recommended me to use C-Trip if I can read Chinese. But it was easier in the end to use trip.com.
Okay, what about getting around? You find getting around China easy?
I thought that it was easy, but you definitely need local people to help you. So I think maybe for you it was complicated. For us, booking trains and stuff, that part was really easy. But there are some places where we had to book like a car share. Then it's quite common actually if you're staying at a guest house or a hotel and you want to go to like another village or something, they do car shares and it's cheaper than you getting a private car.
And they use the app called Didi.
You
And
can use
it's
DD.
it's quite
Yeah.
affordable. It's similar to Uber or Grab, but the thing is, it's all in Chinese.
Yeah, it's all.
That's the
I'm
difficult
actually
part.
not sure. I never tried booking it in English. There could be an English interface, but for I when you get Alipay, that app, inside there is DD. So I actually use DD to. It's basically like Grab.
I remember because it is Chinese interface, but then you have this pop-up that say translate this page, and you can and you can use that to book your ride. I remember
So
it now.
it's like
Yeah.
a car. You can be a car sharing option, or it could be you can book a private car to get to different places. But it's quite easy to use. The only issue is sometimes they like to call you to confirm, and that is when you
We-
might struggle. But if
We
you
made a
say-
mistake picking up the calls many times, and it charges.
But it's
us.
because we didn't have a local number.
Right, yeah.
So getting a local number would help because they're gonna try to call you, and if you speak English, they might just
Hang up.
hang up and try to find you. But if you can speak some Chinese, then they're going to try to like tell you where they are so you can meet them somewhere. Yeah. Another way we got around in a lot of places is by e-bike.
Oh
So, like,
yeah,
electric
e-bike
bike.
is so much fun, and we didn't know this before we traveled to China. We thought we're not allowed to ride any mopeds or bike at all. But because e-bikes are so slow, well,
25 kilometers per hour, I think.
there are some bikes that say they say it's only 25 kilometers, but it actually you can go. We got one that can go 40 kilometers an hour. But
Yeah.
but
But it doesn't say
but the
40.
gauge just say 25 for I don't know legal
It felt
purposes. I'm not sure
faster
it
than
felt a lot
25.
faster, but those are good options to travel around in the city that you are in, and it's usually $15 a day. $15 a day.
It was,
It wasn't expensive.
yeah, it wasn't expensive. And most places you're able to fit two people on one bike, which is convenient. It was only in Hangzhou that they had a strict rule that you need to have your own bike because I think it was like a smaller bike. They didn't support two fully grown
Yeah.
adults.
We made a mistake of the first day we rented one bike and we were two people on the e-bike. We didn't know, and the police stopped us a couple of times.
4 times.
4 times.
Yeah,
So
and-
Flora had to hop off and then walk a little bit and hop back on.
Yeah, and eventually I think I just walked the last kilometer back to the hotel, and then the next day we rented 2 e-bikes, and it
Yeah.
was the first time I ever
Rode
rode
a
an
bike.
e-bike or scooter or anything of that sort. It's not hard, but I mean, at least you're not going fast.
Yeah, and it's so safe in China. Everywhere they have bike lanes, and everyone is they obey the traffic rules. And but if you're in big cities like Shanghai or Hangzhou, I think a lot of people obey the rules because there are so many police in each intersection, making sure that everyone is
Yeah.
following rules. But yeah, we felt very safe driving electric bike and getting around in China.
Okay. I think a lot of people are wondering like how convenient it is to travel. So I hope we're answering kind of some of those questions. I think language. Language is another one. I think in our last video, Note went all by himself to order KFC, and it was the first time he really experienced language barrier.
And I did feel like I don't know, I didn't know what else to do. Like I couldn't order anything. Like at the point that I had to call you to help me. Like I couldn't find another way to solve the problem that I had. So I think it's part of traveling. It's part of the fun because I had Flora at the time. I sought out to you to, you know, to solve the problem. But if you travel with someone who doesn't speak Chinese, I'm sure there will always be someone willing to help. But I didn't look for help there.
Yeah.
I went to you right away.
I find that when we're in where were we? Like in Shanghai, we had people come up and kind of just kind of talk to us, and they see if you understand the language. Of course, like we look like we possibly speak Chinese. I mean, people think he looks more Chinese than I look Chinese, so they come over and kind of chat with us. But there are some English speakers as well, and they're really good at recommending us to go places and telling us which apps to use. So back to like the apps, I recommend pinning where you want to go on your Apple Maps because Apple Map will work,
Works.
but it's still not the best one. The best one is actually called Gaode Map, like Gaode. The thing is, I think you can type in the English names, but it shows up in Chinese. And I haven't figured out if you can translate it. But I'll leave all these like in the video description box so you can take a look at what they are.
All the app names that we use and all the
Yeah.
websites, the VPNs and stuff.
Yeah, because I think that map was the most detailed map, and I think there's also Baidu Maps, which is almost like an equivalent of Google Maps. So there's a couple choices for sure. I mean, you can pin things on Google Map, but you gotta find the location because they probably
It doesn't.
won't show up.
I tried Google Map
Oh yeah, I
many
didn't
times.
try.
It's pretty much useless in
Okay.
China. You know how we travel to different countries.
Yeah.
Google Map is the first thing we look into,
Yeah.
where to eat, where to go, and how to get to places. But Google Map just doesn't work in China.
Yeah, I think Baidu Map might be Baidu Map and
Apple
also Apple Map, and also get the Baidu translation app. So I'll link all of those. That one was pretty good for like pretty accurate in the translation. And but yeah, it's just like good to have, and make sure you download like an offline version so even if something's weird with your internet, you can still use it.
Maybe in the future we should just do a tour to China with Flora and Note. Would you guys join? Because China is one of those countries that people feel intimidated to go by themselves sometimes. So we could be your local tour guides in the future.
Wait, I'm your tour guide right now. So you want me to bring you and more people.
Yeah.
Okay, then I gotta work on my Mandarin. Please, okay, the name is Chris says, please give a shout out to my mom. We call her Wonder Woman. We recently went to Chiang Mai and loved our time there, hoping to meet you guys in November before you guys start the group tour.
Hi, Chris's mom.
Hi, Chris's
Hello, Wonder
mom.
Woman. Hope you're having a good time in Chiang Mai.
And
The burning season is over. It should be nice right now.
let's see. Okay. I'm kind of just scrolling
Thank
through
you.
these
Thank you
ones.
for all the super chats, guys. We
Yeah,
really
food
appreciate
history.
your support.
We met, yeah.
We remember you. I think we met you in
Penang.
Penang, right? Yeah.
Okay. Someone said, I'm glad you stayed away from the major cities. Yeah.
But
Xinjiang.
if you're traveling to China for the first time, major cities are the easiest to travel to, and a lot of the signages and restaurants will have English.
Yeah. You have a lot of food choices as well. I think in Shanghai was...
Talking about food, I wanna.
Yeah, I was gonna say in Shanghai, so much food, like international food. But Shanghainese food is quite famous around the world as well. Like we had a really, really good meal there with my friend and her family. But yeah, Shanghai was definitely like easy. But as we move towards,
A more rural
like
towns.
Yunnan, then I think you started to struggle a bit more than me.
I struggle so hard with the food because it's so interesting because I love Chinese food. When we were in Canada, we eat Chinese food all the time. When we went to Hong Kong, we eat Chinese food. But Chinese food in China is totally different from the Chinese food I have experienced.
Because the Chinese food that we are used to is actually just food from a certain region, like Guangdong region in China. So I think that's why we're used to those flavors and those dishes, because it's a lot of people from there immigrated to,
Right.
Canada, to the States, to Australia, and all of that. But when we were in China, then we had a lot of, like, there's so much mala, like that numbing spice on everything. There's a lot more kind
It's
of
a lot more greasier, a lot.
like stir fried dishes or lamb dishes, or what do you say? There's also potato in dishes. Like there's
But
things that
everything
we're
is
not
just
used,
oily.
we're
Everything
not
is
used
a
to.
lot more oily than what I used to, and I have trouble digesting grease, so I have a lot of stomach problems but that's just me.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean like the food is dirty or anything. Everything is so clean in China. It's just me finding familiar Chinese food as we move towards more remote towns.
Yeah. There's actually quite a few snacks that we had that we really, really enjoyed that we've never seen before as well. Like on the side of the road, there's a lady in Yunnan, in Dali, that sells just a grilled potato, and then she slice it open
Oh yeah.
and put like chili sauce and what else was in there? Mostly just chili, different types of chili sauce and chilies. And
It was one of the most delicious thing we had in China, and it was like
just a grilled potato. But
less than $1 or something.
it was so good, and a lot of like mixed noodles. Those are all like okay for you and quite delicious. But yeah, I think it's every region you go to, the food is going to be different, which is quite interesting for me to see. Like I've never seen these things before.
Yeah. So just be prepared. Bring lots of oatmeal
For
or
you, yeah.
power bars.
In case you also struggle.
Yeah, in case you need something familiar, because you will not be able to get Western food outside of big cities. Not as accessible.
I agree. I agree. There was one day where you really didn't know what to eat, and I had trouble finding something for you. It was
And we usually don't eat fast food. We don't eat McDonald's. We don't eat KFC, but we ate a lot of McDonald's and KFC in a remote town of China.
just like for breakfast.
Yeah.
It's either congee or steamed buns, or we're like, let's get like a KFC muffin or McMuffin or something.
That's why next time when I go back to China, I'll be bringing a lot of, the packaged instant oatmeal. I'll bring like 3 dozens of that, and then lots of power bars, just in case.
Let's see.
Did we go through all the list that we had?
Most of it. Let's answer these questions here. Here, I'll read it to you. You guys have to take the train from Xi'an to Tibet. Oh, that would be a nice one to do. I think that's the one where it's like the highest altitude train ride, though. I think I'm a bit scared. Oh, sorry. I'm a bit scared with the altitude right now, because when I had altitude sickness, it was like I was operating on 10%. Like when oxygen is not getting to your brain, you lose sense of what's happening. Like I would get up and I don't know where I'm going. Like I needed to go to the toilet, but I wasn't sure what was happening.
There was one day that you woke up and you didn't know where you were.
Yeah, I didn't know where I was. And then I would be on the oxygen and I thought, okay, I need a break. So I'm off the oxygen for maybe like half an hour, 45 minutes. But I feel like my head hurts so much that I need to go back on the oxygen. That's basically why we stayed in Shangri-La for 3 days. It was because I knew already that we needed to leave, but I physically couldn't make it out of the hotel. So that's why we waited 3 days until...
We thought you're gonna get better so we can go and actually explore and film Shangri-La.
Yeah, we
but
wanted
it never happened.
We were excited for Shangri-La because we thought, okay, finally we're almost at like the last video of the series. We wanted to dress up in the like
almost
ethnic
like
clothes.
Chinese, Tibetan costume that looks so cool.
Yeah, I even saved the photos of the outfits that I wanted to do, to wear, and then the makeup and everything. But
With the eagle on your shoulder.
yeah,
but we'll go back someday.
Yeah.
When you are not scared of the altitude anymore. Because before Flora,
that never happened
before
to me.
that incident, we were so excited because we had plans of one day we're gonna conquer the Annapurna in Nepal. And then after you got so sick from the altitude, you were like, I don't think I can do the Annapurna.
I'm not sure about it. I think, yeah, I'm a bit worried. I need to work on my...
we have to adjust our bodies instead of just going from one place and then up to 3,500 meters. That's just too much of a change.
We did hang out around 2,500 to 3,000 for a good amount of time, but I caught a cold at the end of the trek. Like, I definitely caught a cold, and I think that's kind of what happens. And why I got so sick so quick. Yeah. Let's see here.
Like I'm curious. Do you have the urge of traveling to China, or after seeing our China series, does it make you want to travel to China now? Because before traveling to China, I did have the feeling where I want to go to China, but I'm not ready to go to China until we went and saw how beautiful it is.
Oh, okay. We actually have some really good comments here
Yeah?
because they said Didi, the ride sharing app that we were talking about, it has a English interface, and someone said Didi bought Uber China.
Oh.
So I guess that's why that's the main choice for people if you want to do, was it ride hailing?
Mm-hmm.
How much money to spend 1 month in China like we did?
So
Oh, that's...
we didn't really have any idea of how much China gonna be other than booking the hotels. From booking the hotels. Most of the places we stay were under $50, and they are so nice.
We kind of opted for guest houses over chain hotels or big hotels because we like the interaction with the locals and asking for recommendations, but also like the cozy atmosphere of the place. So yeah, $50 was our budget. I think there was only maybe one place or two places that
we
was like
spent 60.
Yeah, which is
But
still
that's still
very
very
good.
affordable. And in terms of food, I think we spent less than an average of less than $20 a meal for the two of us. If you're in a big city like Shanghai and Hangzhou, I would say they're quite similar to Bangkok. Very similar prices wise. And as you move further out of the big city, it will get cheaper.
Even for tourist attractions, I find that it's usually like a couple hundred yuan. Like it was never very expensive. I think the only expensive one that we actually couldn't get tickets to was the Jade
Snow Dragon Mountain.
Jade Dragon Snow Mountain. Yeah, that one was the one that was more expensive. But most of the places we went to, like it's definitely an affordable
Place to travel to. Yeah.
And trains as well, it's very, very affordable. I think some trains we took were about like 30 US dollars, 30 to 60. Long distance trains could be up to $100. Like our long one to Yunnan, I think was $100.
So similar to Bangkok, some places will be more expensive, but cheaper than Japan. Even though
Yeah.
Japan yen is the low right now, but China is still cheaper. Do you?
So it says, so for China, is it better to have a physical SIM rather than an eSIM? I think so. Just for the convenience of being able to register and get a verification code for a lot of the apps that you will need to use. Definitely a physical SIM. And sometimes you can get it at the airport as well. When are you coming back to Thailand?
We're
We're actually in
Thailand.
Thailand right now. What else? Are you going to visit Bhutan, Tibet, or Mongolia soon?
Those places are so high on my list. We were talking about visiting Mongolia, but then we want to be there when it's not cold.
Yeah. And we actually looked into, what was it, July, because they have a big like festival. It's almost like their Olympics, but we have to be in Thailand for these 2 months for some personal reasons. So then we cannot go now. So
It's on our list.
it's on our list for sure. Tibet, I'm gonna wait a bit because the
We need
altitude is
we need
pretty
to
high.
be healthier and get more fit. That's why we're back here in Thailand, hitting the gym every day and trying to be more fit and healthier.
Someone said, "How is Rocket doing now?"
Rocket is doing good, except Rocket AC is broken, so I
Yeah.
have to get it fixed
We're
tomorrow.
gonna get that fixed. Yeah. Do you feel scared or worried about your camera gear, pickpocket thieves?
In China?
Yeah. No.
No, not at all. I think China is one of the safest countries we have been to.
It's one reason is like there's cameras everywhere, so you're gonna get caught. People just don't bother doing
Yeah.
that. But also, most people have, like for example, cell phones. Like your cell phone is linked to so many things. It's more of a hassle for them to take your phone. Like it seems more of a hassle to pickpocket. I feel like.
I think the main thing is the amount of cameras they have in each city, especially in Shanghai and Hangzhou. The cameras everywhere, and the amount of peace officers,
Yeah.
the police. Sometimes they even have armies
Yeah.
stationed in a different intersection.
Like in front of the train station, for example, you saw.
A SWAT team,
Yeah. Like I think.
like fully geared police officers walking around everywhere.
I mean, they don't like it when people gather. Like we found out when we were in, what was it, the Nanjing pedestrian street in Shanghai, when there was a cute cat with like
Glasses.
bling bling stuff and sunglasses, and everyone started gathering, taking photos. Then the police came, be like, please don't gather, everyone, kind of
Just break off the
break
crowd.
out. Yeah, so they don't like people to gather, and I think that's why there's also more security around, because if suddenly
Something
there's like
happened.
a demonstration or something, like it will be stopped.
But it's quite intimidating seeing the amount of police officers in China. But you also have to understand that the population of China is over 1 billion people, and they have so many people that they have to watch. So it kind of makes sense. But if you don't do anything wrong, it's a super safe country to travel.
I mean, I did still check on our bags. For example, we couldn't place our bags directly above us on the train or something. Then I would keep my eye on my stuff, and you just don't want to tempt people with your belongings, if that makes sense.
Just travel smart.
Just travel smart, like any other place you go to. It's just you feel that it's we never feared losing our stuff or anything.
If you're in a super crowded place, switch your backpack to the front.
Yeah, just do the normal things that you do when you travel smart. Someone's-
Move your phone into your underwear, stuff like that.
That's not very convenient. How to book and rent bikes in China. Can you explain in detail about the app and how to return it and stuff? So I'm guessing you're talking about the normal bicycle rental in the city. So that's all connected through the app. So when you see a bicycle, then you can scan the QR code and then the app pops up. You register with your local phone number, and then if you have the Alipay or the WeChat Pay, then it's all connected in there. So you just scan it to unlock it. And then you can take it wherever you want. And then when you park it, you just press lock. And then they'll show you the balance of how much time and how much money you spent. That's basically it.
And it's so cheap.
It's so cheap. And it's really fun and it's convenient.
I think we did like a 15 to 20 minutes ride in China, and it cost us 15 cents.
Yeah,
It was very cheap.
We enjoyed using it a lot in Shanghai because we had a hotel that was near the creek, so we always just bike down the creek, and there's bike paths.
And if you're talking about electric bikes, we usually rent it either from the homestay that we stay at, or there are a lot of electric bike shops around.
Yeah, and I would say that usually
About 50 yuan.
50 yuan is how much?
A day.
Let me see.
Less than $10.
50 yuan. The cheapest one I've seen for the electric bikes per day was
Wow.
about 30 yuan, which is $4 a day. And then on average, I would say it's 50 yuan, so it's like $7 a day. And you can go quite a distance.
Some of them have
those ones.
50 kilometers range. Some of them have
100
kilometer
kilometers.
range.
One has 140 kilometer range, like on one charge. And if you run out, stop by a cafe or something, get a drink, and ask them
to
if you can charge. Yeah. That never happened to us, though. We
No.
always returned.
Full. We
yeah.
leave in the morning with full battery, return it with full battery. Like, it's amazing how long these electric bikes can last. Oh, any plans to visit Taiwan one day? We do have plans to visit Taiwan. We have been to Taiwan just before we started the YouTube channel.
Yes, we were there for almost 3 weeks, and
Yeah.
we took the train around. We enjoyed the trip a lot. It's just, it was still, I guess because we spent so much time there, we need some time before we want to go back.
It is on our list, but
Yeah.
not high on our list.
So Flora should let Note make a brave move and lead the trip sometime. Oh, he's leading in Laos. I'm just following him in Laos.
In Laos and Thailand.
Yeah.
Because after Laos, we have some exciting island series coming up, exploring all the beautiful tropical islands in Thailand. That series is going to be fun too.
Let's see. Someone asked, this is kind of a different question. Since I was in culinary arts, what's my favorite food to prepare for Note? It's funny you say that because I can cook some fancy dish, but he doesn't like that.
I can't eat fine dining. I can't eat fancy food.
Yeah, he doesn't like butter or grease or any of that. So literally just some seasoned chicken breast, some sweet potatoes, some what we did stir fry asparagus, salad on the side, like that kind of stuff he enjoys. But if it's too
much ingredients in there.
Yeah, then he doesn't like it.
I'm very low maintenance when it comes to food. I used to just eat grilled chicken breast with boiled broccoli and boiled sweet potatoes for years.
That answer is actually another question. People say, how do you stay fit when you travel? It's because his diet is very, very clean, and not because he's trying to be clean. That's actually what he likes. He doesn't like chocolates or ice cream or cake or cookies. He doesn't like any of that. So there's like no way for him to really gain weight. He likes clean, simple food.
I like rice cakes,
Yeah.
and that has no calories. Like the really the thin one that tastes like air.
Someone said, please visit Fujian province in China. Yeah, we're going to do our research. We've heard quite a few places like Fujian, Xinjiang, that we have to look into. Qinghai.
So
Yeah.
so if we go back to China, do you have like a top 3 cities that you want to visit?
I do want to go to Chongqing. So
Is it the one with lots of lights, like big buildings with orange
it's
lights?
very futuristic. Like I haven't been to a super futuristic city in China yet. So I think that one is, I want to go for the futuristic elements of it. And food, I think, is supposed to be really, really good too. And I want to go to Xinjiang because so many people have been mentioning it. So I've also been looking it up and seeing like the grasslands, the kind of crazy looking mountains. It's like the nature of Xinjiang is like a feast for the eyes. I think that's quite high on the list. But it's a huge place, so I think the best part is to do that by like a road trip, maybe.
I think next time, if we could go to the countryside, like the remote areas, and maybe spend a couple nights with the family living in the village or something like that, like a real homestay experience, that would be cool.
Yeah, I think so. I think Xinjiang might have that opportunity, or Inner Mongolia maybe has that opportunity as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, a little bit of futuristic, but also nature is what we enjoy doing and what we enjoy filming. Yeah, I just need to do a bit more research. Maybe there is a drama, a Chinese drama that people have been telling me to watch. It's in like it's based on a story in Xinjiang. So once I watch that, then I'll let you know where we should go.
Because a lot of the places that we went on this China series trip is the location Flora saw in one of the dramas, Chinese dramas, which is awesome because they're so unique
Because
and local.
I watch TV to basically learn language. So I was like, okay, if I'm going to China, then I need to brush up on my Mandarin. So I got recommendations from my friend to watch that drama, Meet Yourself, which is based in Yunnan, in Dali. And that was like the first place on my list. We're like, okay, we have to go to this place. And when we're here, there's quite a few places that I want to see. But yeah, it was such a great way for me to brush up on the language, but also kind of get an idea of what to look forward to when I get to a place. You can definitely watch Chinese dramas on Netflix.
Yeah.
As well. You can
With
have English subtitles. Kind of gives you an idea of what it's like. I think that's one of the great ways. No matter if you're trying to learn Chinese or not, I think it's a nice way to get familiar before the trip.
It's almost an hour now.
Oh,
wow,
yeah.
time flies. Let's answer a few questions
Yeah, we'll
before
answer a few questions.
we wrap up this live.
Wow, okay.
So many comments.
John said, "Good morning, my friends." Hi,
Thank
John.
you.
You've been leaving us such great comments on all of our videos in China. So thank you so much.
Always a joy reading your comments.
Yeah, we've had so many nice comments from so many people on this China series. Really appreciate it. Someone mentioned here about toilets in China.
Oh.
I would have to say I personally don't mind the squatter toilets because I don't want to touch a toilet seat. So then for me, I always thought that that was not a problem. I would just say that wherever you go, bring toilet paper and bring like hand sanitizer and stuff. But I honestly thought toilets were available in so many places.
Oh yeah, they have clean Western public toilets almost everywhere, every park, especially in big cities like Shanghai and Hangzhou and Dali. But and in all the hotels and homestay, we stay at all modern Western toilet. The only like real rural squatter style is when we go on a hike or we
Yeah.
go to a very small town. But
But
then they're
then-
still very clean. We just it's just shocking that there was one day before we did the hike up to the what was it,
Tiger Leaping
Tiger
Gorge.
Leaping Gorge.
Yeah.
We both needed a toilet, and I walk into this toilet, and it's just 3 stalls, no doors, and that's just a long canal in the middle. And there was a guy standing there. So I walked in there and I left right away because I thought it's his,
like a single-
it's
yeah.
his washroom. But then there was nowhere else to go, so I returned. And luckily, I only had to pee. But I walked
Yeah.
into a rural Chinese toilet where there's multiple people sitting there and just smoking and play with their phone and doing number 2. But it's it's an experience. You didn't see that
No, girls are quick. Get in and get out.
for
but-
number 2 too. Oh, I think you don't know because girl can do number.
Yeah,
two and
I
look
don't know
like
what they're
number
doing, and I don't try to look at them. But there's only like during the hike, the Tiger Leaping Gorge hike is the only time I saw the toilets that only have like a little board that covers. So basically, when you squat down, you can see the other person's butt in front of you, like across that wall. But just you're not trying to look at each other, so it's just go quick
Yeah.
and it's fine. But most of the other places, you have a stall. I would say that don't wear pants that are too long. That you know what I mean? Like, yeah.
You might get some souvenir.
Yeah,
when
you
you
just don't
leave.
want your clothes to drag on the floors.
Yeah.
But if you have
But-
to go, you have to
yeah,
go, right? So it's not, it's just nice that they have toilets, but you cannot always guarantee the cleanliness of
Yeah.
the toilet. But I think it's better than I expected. Thailand has
More.
worse toilets sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't find it terrible at all.
It was always easy to find a toilet.
It was just shocking to go in a
the
public
rural one.
public toilet with other people without doors. I get shy peeing. Imagine trying to poo.
Someone
So
said,
funny.
yeah, someone said sushi is non-existent in China. Yeah, we didn't see any sushi. We went back to Thailand to eat sushi, remember? Let's see. Are they accepting of foreigners there?
Yes. Yes.
And now that we started our own channel on a Chinese platform for like video platform, people love watching foreigners visit China and their impressions of it. Like they're very, very welcoming, and they are proud that their country is kind of more modern now, easier to navigate, open for tourism, and they want to share their experience or share their country with people coming to visit, for sure.
Yeah, I have to say that this trip completely changed my perspective about China and Chinese people. It was such a positive experience. People were so friendly. Everything was so positive that I know like it's hard to convince you, but you have to go and see it and experience it yourself to kind of understand how safe and how friendly and how beautiful China is.
I think the potential for tourism in China is huge. I think once they can really make it more convenient for people for example, I saw something about if you don't need to use those apps, you can just like tap your credit card for payment. I think that's coming as well. So you don't have to register all the stuff before going. You can just like tap and pay. Like those little things make it so much easier for tourists when going to like a foreign country. And just the signage, the language, or people speaking a bit more English, like that will really, really help traveling in China. And I think it's coming. Like, there's definitely like progress in that way. Yeah.
Okay, let's answer a few more. Thank you, Adriana and Dylan.
Yes.
Sorry we're a bit late. Thank you for moderating
so much.
this live and keeping the chat box friendly and fun.
We saw you deleted some. So
Some naughty comments.
Someone was not nice.
You go get them.
You want to quickly talk about your experience with flying the drone?
Oh, okay. So drones are allowed in China. Small drones, that is under 250 grams, which is most of the mini series for the DJI is allowed. But you just have to follow rules in certain places, like Shanghai, you are not allowed to fly at all. Big cities, you are not allowed to fly at all. But when you go to a countryside, they will have different zones. You will be able to check it on your DJI app. And there was one time we went into a temple. We weren't allowed to. It was
Hangzhou.
It was a no-fly zone. But I had a drone in my bag, and you have to go through the security check. And there's a few police there, and they saw the drone, and they were like, "Oh, you got a drone? Don't fly here. Here, write down your name. Just register, just in case." And that's it. They just wanted to make sure that you follow the rules and follow the safety rules that they have. Yeah. Otherwise, we didn't have any problem.
Yeah, they didn't take your drone or something.
No.
They just said, "Oh, please don't fly it," and they were like, "Okay." So
Recreational drone is common in China. DJI is owned by a Chinese company. China is so crowded.
there is something people asked here about trouble checking into hotels because they're foreigners. I have heard people were scared about this before, saying that not all hotels are available for foreigners. But we didn't have that issue. We booked
Everything on
all the
trip.com,
hotels
whatever is listed on there, you can stay in there.
Yeah, I mean, it even has a little box down there say like we welcome like everyone. You can scroll down when you look at a booking on trip.com and they will confirm it for you. But every single place I looked, they were open for booking, and I didn't have to book that far in advance. There's so many guest houses available. So we usually booked. I would book a place if it was free cancellation, maybe a week or two ahead of time. If it's like a non-refundable place, and I book it a couple days ahead of time. Trains, though, you can book them 15 days before departure. And I would try to book those as soon as possible because first class runs out pretty quick, business class runs out pretty quick.
And you want to pick the best seats.
Yeah, and second class, they can run out as well, depending on where you go, but there's many times. So I would say if you know, book it, but if you're flexible with your schedule, then you probably don't have to worry too much because there's a lot of trains going different times, different stations. So you'll be able to find one.
Lots of options, very convenient.
Yeah.
I said that because I didn't have to do any bookings. Like during the whole month there, I didn't have to look at hotels. I didn't have to look at train tickets. Flora did all that. It was so smooth.
Yeah. So I think someone here says that all hotels can accept foreigners, but you need to register your passport.
That's just like Thailand.
So yeah, it's just
the
when
same.
you
Thailand is doing the same thing.
So I guess it's more of the hotels that are on trip.com. They're probably already signed up for that program. So when we checked in, they always asked for our passport because they need to register us. So that's easy.
Oh, I think of one more thing. One more tip is that if you're traveling to popular attractions, try not to go on the weekend or public holiday, because it can be so crowded. It can be super crowded. So choose Monday to Fridays. It might still be crowded, but in comparison to holidays, it's two different worlds.
We usually plan our travels like that too. Like on the weekends, we do something easy, like go chill at cafes, go walk somewhere at the parks. Something that we know that is not going to be like crazy with lineups or anything, and we try to save the attractions for weekdays for sure. That's a good tip. Yeah. Well, I think you probably are sick of us after an hour.
Thank you so much for sticking with us this long.
Yeah, we will definitely link all those apps and different things that we've talked about in the description box of the video. And if you have any other questions about traveling to China, you can leave it in the comments of this video, and I will get to them as well. But yeah, we really enjoyed our trip, and we hope that you also would put China on your list, your bucket list to travel.
And if you're not sick of us yet, we have a bonus. We compile all of the videos into one.
It's like travel documentary.
Yeah, travel documentary of China coming up on Wednesday. So it's a short one. It's only 4 hours long. So grab your, get your popcorn, get your family together, put it on the TV, and spend 4 hours together watching it.
Yeah, if you just want to see beautiful views of China and our faces, you can always leave
it on. Leave it on
your
mute.
TV.
It's fine.
But this does not disrupt our normal Saturday uploads. So on Saturday, we will continue with our short but sweet Lao series. And you're going to see more of Note speak Lao or Thai or a mix of both.
A mix of them.
Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us again. And thank you, Adriana and Dylan, for moderating for us. And we will see you next time.
And as always, have a wonderful day.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Say bye again.
Bye.